Hey everyone, I'm really happy today to introduce you to Flash Greek version 3. So basically, all the functionality is still here, but I've really worked to upgrade the user experience. So this is what it looks like now. First thing you'll notice at the top, which is already sitting there because I've been using it for a little while, is that as opposed to the previous version where you can choose just one default, now the app will remember the 4 most recent quizzes that you have done, so that you could, for instance, click on one of them and it will load it right up and bring it to the last section for you. So let me just go back here. So you'll have 4 of your most recent quizzes ready to be loaded again. You'll notice that all of them are now sitting at the bottom, all the various textbooks or quiz types, like studying by chapter, studying principal parts, or frequency or root, or they're also organized up here within these sections. I'm going to show you first a textbook, so I'll jump over here and I'll just scroll down a little bit and I'll choose one of the latest offerings now by Merkel and Plummer. And you see here the chapters laid out, all of the numbers of cards within the chapter. And if I were to click a chapter now, you see at the very bottom it shows you the number of chapters you've selected, the total number of cards. And there's a new review button. So this black button right here, if I click on this, is going to show you a review of the words that have been chosen thus far, so that you can see what is in that chapter. If I move, let me just choose a couple more here. Now if I move to the next setup page, you see the review button is also there. So it would show me all the same ones here, but if I wanted to narrow the word type, say to nouns, you see that now it's down to 40, and now that review button will show only the 40 cards. So that review button will be based on the limitations that you've chosen. You see all of the settings now in this settings section. You can, of course, narrow your word type. If you're not sure about all of these settings, there's just this little button there to let you know what those settings are. And of course, it's defaulted to include images, to shuffle the order, to play the sound automatically, to include the scripture examples, but you can easily check those off and on as you would like. The default card view means either you want Greek first and then English on once you flip, or vice versa. You can choose it to be English first instead. You can exclude words answered correctly. So if you've, and this is the same as version 2, you can say if I've answered this word correctly 5 times, don't include it in the quiz. So you have that. And requiring the correct answers, you can say I need to tell it 2, 3, 4, 5, as many times as you want in the quiz. And then you have the slideshow delay. You can tell it to repeat incorrect answers if you don't answer them correctly. And then you have something called the slideshow loop. Now, in the previous version, slideshow worked differently than it does now. The slideshow will work right in the quiz. So for instance, if I hit next here, you're going to see the word, the example, the image, and then you have these buttons on the bottom here. So the gear button would just take you back. The big audio sound button, the third one, would re-say the word for you, the audio. If you want to skip the word, that's that final button. It would just skip to the next one. Hitting the flip button would then show you the meaning, and then you correct yourself, incorrect or correct, and it will change the count at the very top there, and you have the remaining numbers. Now, if you wanted to review before, in a slideshow mode, before answering or correcting yourself as correct or incorrect, what you can do is hit this slideshow button now right inside the quiz, and it will begin looping through. And you can set the delay between the time that it flips. So right now it is set to 3 seconds, but you can move that up to have longer spaces in between. And this will just keep on going now. It will loop through, and if you get to the end of the number of cards in your quiz, it'll just go back to the beginning and continue to loop through. and it will keep on going. So what's nice about this is if you want to study while you're driving, for instance, you can connect your Bluetooth and have the audio going to study in your car via audio. Obviously, make sure you're not looking at your screen while you're driving. But this is a way that you can study via audio, and it will just keep on looping over and over until you press this button, and it will go back to where you were so that you can resume then your quiz and correcting yourself, incorrect or correct. So the slideshow works now right within the regular quiz. You see the slideshow delay there. You can change your delay. Again, it's set to 3 seconds, which means it'll wait 3 seconds before it does a flip, and you can choose it to wait a little bit longer. You also see, just as I go back here to the very beginning, the same features, studying by frequency or route, principal parts, or by New Testament chapter, but this is a little more user-friendly in that it has these built-in pickers here. And again, as I choose, for instance, frequency, you see the bottom is updated, and again, we now have this review button that you can go to see the cards that you've chosen and review them before. And again, now you see, because we did a Merkel and Plummer quiz, that it's now sitting there in my recently done quizzes. So this is the new user experience for Flash Greek version 3. It's a free update, and so I hope everyone enjoys it.